Yo, what's up everybody? This is Junior Chicken here. And
what the fuck is a
Zygarde?
So this is a new series I'd like to bring to my channel where I talk about things that generally baffle me. Even when it comes to stuff I like, such as Pokemon. So we're gonna talk about Zygarde. You've probably already seen the Koro leaks showing the new forms for Zygarde. This seems to really hint at some sort of evolution of Zygarde, even though legendaries aren't supposed to evolve. Sure, there are different forms of legendaries, which I'll cover a bit later on, but for the most part this really seems to be like some sort of evolution with Cell, Core, 10% and 50% and then Complete. It's really, really weird. In X and Y, you can find Zygarde in the Terminus Cave in the post-game content. It's known as the Order Pokemon and is supposed to watch over ecosystems. But, despite all the lore, Zygarde's probably one of the most underwhelming legendaries out there. Not saying that it's necessarily a bad Pokemon, but compared to a lot of other dragons, it doesn't really have much to call it special. It has 600 base stat total, which plenty of other dragons have. It does have a nice distribution though. It's got some pretty good HP, attack, and defense, and its other three stats are decent as well. But its move pool, despite having a signature move known as Land's Wrath, is kind of underwhelming as it only covers 4 types in its natural move pool, those being Dark, Normal, Ground, and Dragon. And even with Dragon moves, it doesn't learn Outrage until level 93, meaning if you don't take it to a move tutor in Auras, you're stuck with using Dragon Pulse, which won't have full power potential because it's using special attack rather than its really good physical attack. So there's fighting in Rock through TMs, and Steel and Psychic through the move tutor, but still, there are plenty of other Dragon types out there, even Dragon Ground types, that you probably want to use over Zygarde. I mean, look at Garchomp. He's been a menace since he was introduced in Gen 4. I mean, he learns Fire Fang naturally, which allows him to take care of some Pokemon like Shedinjas and Scizors and Fortresses, and Pokemon he can't necessarily knock out with his Dragon and Ground stab moves. He's even got a bunch of other moves like Shadow Claw and Aerial Ace that he can learn through TMs, and he can learn 2 Steel moves from the move tutor. He's got a much better move pool, and he's much more offensive and faster than Zygarde. Even Flygon, who has a 520 base stat total, is arguably better because it can learn U-turn, giving it a bug move, and he can learn a lot more moves through the move tutor. Also, their abilities are so much better. With Flygon, you get Levitate, that means you ignore ground moves, and with Garchomp, you get either Rough Skin or Sand Veil. Both of them are great abilities, damaging your opponent on contact and allowing you to dodge attacks during a sandstorm. Zygarde, on the other hand, has to deal with Aura Break as an ability, which only affects Xerneas and Yveltal. But even then, both Xerneas and Yveltal are immune to one of Zygarde's stabs. So that means you need to learn Iron Tail to get Xerneas, and then learn Stone Edge to get Yveltal, and hope you don't miss when you use those attacks against them, rather than relying on your stabs, which are much more accurate and much more reliable, in my opinion. But seeing that it is the 3rd legendary within this kind of trio of legendaries that kind of birthed from Generation 3, we're pretty sure it's going to get some sort of game dedicated to it. Whether it's going to be a Pokemon Z, or it's going to be a X squared and Y squared, as weird as that sounds. Now let's look at the forms that Zygarde has. He's got Zygarde Cell, which basically does nothing, Zygarde Core, which is the brains of the operation, Zygarde 10%, which looks like a quadruped dog for some reason. Zygarde 50%, which is the one we've seen in the games, which is basically the serpent form with the kind of peacock tail at the back. And then we get complete Zygarde, which looks like some sort of Gundam machine. Or some giant robot mech. It just seems odd to go from a blob-like creature like Solosis to a dog to a serpent to a Gundam machine. It just seems like such an awkward transition for me. Also, looking at complete Zygarde, I can't help but notice the red and blue marks on its wings, I guess, which may hint that it may be merging with Yveltal and Xerneas, since red and blue are their colors. Hinting to, of course, the DNA splicing used with Kyurem. Despite how awkward this seems to me, though, there are some people who have been able to explain this pretty well. Dukished has a really good theory, which I'm going to link on the screen and in the description, basically saying that Zygarde is based off of Cell from Dragon Ball Z. J-Witz also mentioned this in his video too, so it's pretty hard to ignore. There have been some hints that Pokemon has taken some inspiration from Dragon Ball Z. I don't know if it's true or not. I mean, one good example is the fact that Frieza looks quite a bit like Mewtwo. And I'm not going to ignore the elephant in the room, of course. Rayquaza looks a lot like
Shenron.
Shenron?
Yeah. I'm going to let you watch Dukished's video yourself and see if you agree with it. But yeah, Zygarde is probably one of the weirdest legendaries introduced. Whether it's how underwhelming it is, or the news that just announced right now, or even the fact that its design is just kind of weird with all the hexagons on its body, but I am still pretty interested to see what will happen to Zygarde in the sequel games, whatever they'll be. And yeah, if Zygarde ends up becoming this awesome Pokemon that we all want it to be, then hey, it's a win for everyone. So that's all I gotta say for my video on what the fuck is a Zygarde, but if you want to actually see me catching Zygarde, there are annotations at the end of my video where you can check out some other videos that I've done. I'll also link it in the description. So yeah, thanks for watching me rant about Zygarde, and I'll see you later with some more videos. I know I haven't been uploading a lot, that's because I'm still getting used to university, but I've definitely got more legendary captures coming your way, and even a Pokemon countdown that I've gotten back to working on. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Go for camouflage again. Did I save before this? Ooh, it took that pretty well, actually.
No! You lied to me, J-Witz! You lied to me! You lied to me!
Alright, Omega Grava.